Welcome, hello, and welcome to What If Deku was, well, not was, more like had Shin Godzilla's powers. Now, if you don't know who Shin Godzilla is, I advise you look it up. I do not have the energy in me to explain it all in this one video, because, yeah, I know, he's stupid powerful. And if left untouched, could have became an eldritch god if not stopped with the freezing agent. Now, we start off after the overhaul arc. Yeah, I must say like a week after, because the League had been getting sick and tired of the whole Izumi, instead of it being Izuku, interfering with their plans, including their plan that they had with the Shie Saikai. And this what if will be shipless, so don't bother asking for me to put her with someone. It's not gonna happen. Anyway, to preface the betrayal, she had already taken Eri in as her daughter, because yes, that will happen for all of my what ifs. Even those that where Eri has not been mentioned yet. Yeah. Villains send this information to Aoyama, who is the actual traitor in canon and will more than likely be for all of my stories. Should I decide to make the traitor different, I will let you know in part one of those stories. Anyway, we cut to Aoyama showing this to the class, minus Izumi, who is currently training with All Might, who will eventually betray her, because that's gonna happen. Inko's original quirk was called Queen of the Monsters. Yeah, she was basically Godzilla. Izuku's quirk would have been Godzilla Ultima's powers if she had unlocked it normally. But because of trauma and the mixture of one for all, it will be Shin Godzilla's powers. The power is only achievable should the user of said quirk not unlock it through natural means and be betrayed to the highest degree of someone they trust. A lot of Class 1A betrays her. Only 2 people don't. Because I like the idea of the stoplight trio, the Izumi, Kirishima, and Kaminari will be brothers and sisters. I will be gender bending Tetsu, and most of Class 1B are on familial terms. Those being Tetsu, Yubara, Itsuka Kendo, Kinoko Komori, aka the Mushroom Girl. I forgot the Shadow guy's name, but yeah, everyone in Class 1B is like family to her. So was 1A. The rivalry was not like it was in canon, where with Monoma being the guy that always ran his mouth. No. Monoma was more or less the hype man between the two classes, like hyping up the rivalry, making it like almost enjoyable. Well, Bakugo was being, well, Bakugo. He hated it when people challenged his power. And yeah, Bakugo would be the first to land a hit on her. Now, because Toga and Twice exist, they were able to get a perfect matching Izumi of that time. Of course, that wouldn't last long. Now, Inko, being who she was, being the most powerful being in Japan, the most powerful creature on the planet. I know she's having Yuji Hanma's title in this wave. There's All Might, All for One, and Stars and Stripes, and then there's Inko. All for One tried to get it into Tomura's mind not to fuck around with Inko and her family. He would learn. He would have to get the whole All for One surgery sooner. All for One made it well known that should Inko's wrath be triggered, Tomura is to immediately get the surgery. Garaki would ask why, and he would say, "Doctor, you must understand. There is a difference in strength and smarts between me and that woman. I am far weaker than her. If her wrath gets triggered, our movement as a whole will not survive, and centuries of work will go down the drain. Do you want that?" "No, Master, I don't want that." "Then you will follow my orders to the letter. Should her wrath be invoked, he is to go through the surgery immediately." "Yes, Master." Hell, when Tomura came up with the idea, Kurogiri was vehemently against it. They asked why. He simply said even Master was scared of her mother. Tomura would call bullshit. The doctor would warn him. He'd question it, but still call bullshit. And he wouldn't go out. He wouldn't be able to hear it from Gigantomachia, because he hadn't encountered him yet. But when he does, and he will, it's gonna confirm that, yeah, no, do not touch this person. Master said that we will touch them last, when the most of Japan is under his rule. Then we will go after that woman that scares her. Because then we'll have enough bodies to throw at her to wear her down so that way I can kill her. Her quirk is not takeable. Even Garagi would say this too. Even when he was working on the upgraded version of All for One, he knew that that quirk was extremely bonded to that family line. And if the quirk was to be separated from that family line at any point in time, the holder of All for One that did take it would die in a minute. And there would be nothing to do about that. Anyway, yeah, cut to like about 30-ish minutes later. Her face is how it looks in the picture. It's cut to pieces. Gums are exposed, and so are her teeth. What would have been her lips is basically gone. Now keep in mind, Kirishima and Kaminari aren't there. Their soon-to-be exes, Mina and Jiro, are taking part in this. I'm sorry if you like anyone in Class 1A. I'm sorry that they are beating on him. All of them. Let's see, 17 students are beating on this one child, on this one kid. Yeah, no. She's broken. Let's say, because Inko was who she was, she knew all of the staff growing up. 13, Snipe, Midnight, Eraserhead, the present Mike, who else teaches their ectoplasm, Cementos, Vlad King. All the teachers there knew her. And she had grown up around them and was like taught by them too. She knew weapons play, she knew hand to hand, she knew specialty weapons like whips, she knew blades, she knew guns, she knew like other hand to hand weapons like brass knuckles and like iron claws and stuff like that. Name a weapon, she knows how to use it. All Might offered up One for All, and she knew how to use 20% off the bat. She knew how to hold back. She fought like an absolute monster. Now, the king of the monsters, Quirk. Well, it will change to Queen of the Monsters depending on what gender the holder is. So for Inko and Izumi, it's Queen of the Monsters. Yeah, no, they're stupid powerful. The Shin Godzilla Quirk. The Shin King / Queen of the Monsters Quirk has not been seen in a century. And during that century, All for One went into hiding. he was scared of the Shin Godzilla Quirk. I'm just gonna say it's a Godzilla Quirk. The hero Godzilla? Yeah, no. His quirk ain't got shit on them. His is just the shitty knockoff that you get at fucking, what is it, Albi? That place that claims to have good stuff, but it's just shit. It's like you went to, like, let's take restaurants for example. Let's say you went to Chili's and you got like the best food that they had. Sorry, I'm using American restaurants. And then you find this cheap, shitty knockoff called Red Pepper. I don't know if that is a restaurant, and I don't know if that is an actual good restaurant, but I'm just using it as reference. Say someone went there, and then you went there, and it tastes like cardboard, actual fucking cardboard, and plastic, and shit mixed into one. Yeah, no, that's Godzilla's quirk compared to everyone else. Compared to the king / queen of the monsters quirk. He's just powerful. The entire family line is powerful and has made All For One scared. He has been walking on eggshells whenever he wanders into their city or is notified of another person being added to that family. And he took a big risk killing Nana Shimura. Because she had given birth to 2 kids, Kotaro and Inko. Kotaro wouldn't get the king of the monsters quirk. They are both raised by their father, who damn near lost himself to rage. Kotaro would be quirkless if I want this to work. He'd still die and everything. That everything he did to Tenko Shimura would still happen. When he then actually learned the last name of Izumi being Ishimura, because Inko took back up her maiden name after her husband was murdered by a random villain who she then promptly beat into oblivion. And then had them carted off into the ER, where they are still in a coma. He would break down. When they asked, he simply said, "It happened again. Why am I cursed?" He cursed himself. He thinks he's cursed. He hurt another family member. But how is he supposed to know he never got the last name of Izumi? Only the first. All For One made damn sure of that. He also made sure that anything relating to Shimura was kept as far away from Tomura as possible. So when he was able to actually watch the news unfiltered and unsupervised by All for One, he learned about what he'd done, whose life he just ruined. And he was sad. He could have just left his cousin alone. Let her live out the life that he never could. That he thought he could never live out. And he will get closure. Just not yet. When 1B, Kirishima, and Kaminari walked in the door, they saw what they were doing to her. Kirishima and Kaminari being the first to get them off of her. She was clinging to life. Mineta had... Well, yeah, no, fuck it, he did. Forced himself on her. And forced himself and went to completion inside of her. Let's just say Mineta is lucky that it was a safe day and that's it. That's all he's lucky for. Because that also, I don't know who else came through the door. Inko Shimura. And she was bubbling with rage. And it was barely being held back. Toshinori was also in on this. All Might himself was in on this beating. He had attempted to take One for All away from her and give it to young Bakugo, who is a better hero than this traitor will ever be. And he was smug about it. Eri saw this, and she snapped back to when she was first saved. Inko was holding back her rage so that Eri wouldn't see Grandma being angry. Eri was crying. Ibarra would offer to take Eri away from such a sight. And Eri would go with her. Ibarra would ask Eri if she wanted to be in one of her more comforting moves that she has made. Because yeah, I'm gonna buff Ibarra. Instead of her quirk just being vines, it's gonna be called Mother Nature. Where she has control over all plant life. She just chooses to have vines for hair. Because she likes vines. They're soft, gentle, but can also be very terrifying. So yeah, she uses one of her more comforting moves called Mother Nature's Hand. And it's kind of like a comforting move. It's like being in a hot spring. It has that kind of effect on the body. and it's also enclosed, and also so that way it's also a kind of move that it's kind of alive in a way. It makes it so that whoever is in it basically floats around in the water. And it's like that so that way whoever's in it doesn't accidentally drown. If you have to jump in it, it'll just bounce in and out. It's like, what's the best thing to compare it to? I think the best would be a bouncy house. Like, you bounce on it for like a little bit. It wouldn't make you bounce too high. But you'd like, it'd be like you jumped in a bouncy house. It'd be like that for a bit, and then you would just float. If you decided to lay down, you'd just float around. If you decided to stand up, you'd slowly sink to about, I want to say mid-chest height. And that's for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're stupid tall or stupid short. You'll go to mid-chest height. It'll have the effects of a hot spring on you. And Sheik does have some healing qualities, but nothing to the point of airy or overhaul or recovery girl. But it'll like heal like light scratches, bruises and stuff like that. Light burns as well. For burns, anything over a 2nd degree burn cannot be healed. So like 3rd degree burns, 4th degree burns, if that's even a thing, which I am more than likely sure it is, because Dobby exists. Yeah, no. If you have like a 3rd degree burn, it would only lower it to the point where you have a 1st degree burn, and that will scar over. If you have a 4th degree burn, and lower it to a 2nd degree burn and scar over. But yeah, it's not nice. Her whole mouth is. That's what her mouth looks like now. Well, when she fell unconscious after the whole beating, and she was unconscious during the forced session with Mineta. The heroes walked in. Nezu was furious. Inko was beyond pissed. And everyone that participated in it was shitting enough bricks to make an entirely new Japan, with everything on it, from the top to the northern end to the southern end, and everything in between. And I mean everything. New forests, new cities, new power plants, new everything. They could make a 100% identical Japan with just the amount of shit that came out of them. Figuratively, of course. Yeah. They were paralyzed with fear. And Inko took one step, and they all were sweating missiles. Yeah, no, they were scared. She would ask with venom in her tone, "Why is my baby on the floor covered in her own blood?" Katsuki, being the ever so cocky brat that he was, would say, "You raised a villain. She's the traitor we've been looking for all this damn time." Bad move. Very bad move. You don't say that to an angry Inko. I'm sorry. He got laid out. He was not waking up. At that moment, Ibaro would grab Izumi and begin to attempt to heal her. She'd put her in a healing cocoon after removing Mineta. Yeah, no. Inko would see the semen leaking from her private parts. Let's just say Mineta is lucky to even be breathing. She is in a coma permanently. Now, beating Mineta into a coma is rather easy. But the way Inko did it was brutal. She was not pulling her punches. Well, she was. One of her punches could kill him in a second. Nothing of Mineta would be left. All Might would show the picture. It was so badly photoshopped. Hell, it wasn't even photoshopped. They could tell that it was Toga. Because they could kind of see the disguise melting off. And they asked why none of them bothered to take a closer look. And Momo, being a smartass, said we didn't need to. This is evidence enough. She probably gave Toga the blood. This would set off Aizawa next. And he would say, "Do you honestly think I would have let her in if I didn't know her personally? I've known her since the day she was born to now. And you honestly think I wouldn't have noticed if she was a villain?" This is when Shoto and his bratty ass would speak up. He's a traitor. She's a traitor. She betrayed us all. She probably hid it from you. It's not hard to hide things from you, old man. That's when Aizawa would plant his foot so far up Shoto's ass that when he pulled it out, yes, this is literal, that when he pulled it out, his shoe was still in there. And he said the next person to pull that out will be crowned King Arthur. Go ahead. Try. And this was not like some ordinary shoe. No, this was a combat boot. I must say this, Aizawa always wore steel-toed combat boots. Give that extra oomph for his kicks. Now, this would scare the rest of them straight. One of the girls, cause fuck it, I hate her, Ochako. She would step up and say she's been using all of us. She has to. This picture's 100% authentic. Really? And who did you get it from, sweetheart? Midnight had about had it with everyone with 1A's shit. Keep in mind, 1B at this time is guarding Ibarra, who currently has Eri and Izumi. And Izumi is undergoing a transformation to how she looks like in the picture. Yeah, she'll look like that when she's done. And Ibarra has been giving them a play-by-play about what's been going on inside of them. Eri is asleep, passed out from what had happened. And Izumi's transforming. When Inko heard this, she made her way to Ibarra and asked, "What do you mean by transforming?" This is when she opened part of the healing pod, so that way they could look into it, forming a natural see-through barrier. So that way none of the people from Class 1A would try anything. It was basically a natural bulletproof glass, high-grade bulletproof glass, able to resist 50 caliber armor-piercing anti-tank, not anti-tank rifles. No, not yet. Yeah, I said yet. Of all the girls in 1B and 1A, Ibarra had a very close relationship with her. Now, I would say this, Ibarra's natural hair color is green. She could have easily been mistaken for a Midoriya. But she wasn't. She's an Ibarra, Shiozaki Ibarra. And it's been made very clear. And you may be asking, why is her quirk called Mother Nature? Because Biolantal. And I don't know if it is true, but it's been speculated that Biolantal is Godzilla's sister. So yes, fuck you. I do what I want. Now, Ibarra's been healing her with some of Recovery Girl's help. her mouth is not getting healed. Every other injury is fixed, and with Recovery Girl's help, they get fully healed, but her mouth is just too heavily damaged. The combination of acid, fire, and explosions made sure of that. Yeah, they didn't even allow her to talk. Ayama just watched, smiling, because I also hate him. My hatred for him will be put on full display in another video. And that video will be coming soon. Quite soon. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, no, she's not moving. She's still not moving. She's still unconscious. It's... well, sure, because of her state she had, and because of the quirk that she had that was dormant, it unlocked, and she had these kinds of scales. Her tail had grown out to be what it looks like in the picture behind the Shin Godzilla picture. It's fleshy, almost, but also still scaly and can produce a whole civilization. Which she could, but she can't right now because she does not know that she could make them. But she can, and they will basically act as her army. She will not be returning to the heroes. She'll visit her mother. She'll take Eri with her. And that'll be it. She'll still have a relationship with Ibara and Kirishima and Kaminari and Tetsu. 1B, she'll just try not to interact with them much because they don't want, she doesn't want them to see her the way that, with what she's become. And because of the Godzilla Quirk requiring a lot of energy and the humans having a lot of meat on their bones, Inko did tend to snack on the dead of anything. You know, their stomachs could produce a lot of things. You can kind of see where this is going, but also kind of not. Those in the league that I will spare will be Dabi and Shigaraki. And Twice, because I like Twice. He's my favorite. He's my favorite in the league. Dabi because his reasons are justified. I'm not much of a Toga fan, I'm sorry. I just can't do the blood. Compress is just funny, man, but he is not Twice levels of funny. I absolutely fucking despised Moonfish and Muscular. I'm sorry, but the way Moonfish is just... And Muscular is a child murderer, so I don't like him off the bat. Mustard is meh. He's already been captured, so he's spared a more terrifying fate. Magne is unfortunately already dead at this point. And fuck, who else was part of the league at that time? Oh yeah, Spinner. Spinner thinks he's hot shit. he does end up becoming a hot shit. Same thing with the rest of the league. Tenko's blood smells familiar, like Inko's, but different. So that's why he's spared. Dobby's spared because, well, you'll find out later. I need to stop spoiling later on in the timeline. Izumi wakes up after her transformation. She panics a lot, and she barrels through the hot springs pod, grabs Eri, and just keeps on moving. She's just gone. Inko tells them to back off and let her go. There's no way that she could escape Inko. Ugh, sorry, it's late where I live. Well, I'll be damned. It's 12:32 in the morning. And I got work in like 10 hours. No, 11 hours. Christ, I can't tell time. Anyway, yeah. She's gone. She straight up left. There's no getting her back. And yeah. That'll be all for this episode. I hope to catch you all later on in the day when I put up part 1 of Yoriichi Deku in Akame ga Kill. See you then. Like, comment, subscribe, I don't care. Give me criticism, I'd like to know how you liked it. And if you want more, even then, I'd still make more, because I'm gonna make all my series to completion. Oryx Deku and Xenomorph Deku and Trained by Sister Midnight Deku will get more parts. I'm just gonna try to put on part 1s of all of my... English is hard, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna try to put part 1s up of all of my videos that I have planned. Until then, see ya.